Alright, so a lot of people ask me how I got started in job boards, so I wanted to give you a brief history of how I got started in this industry. First, just a bit of background on myself. I think that kind of tells you a bit about how I got into the area. I'd been doing I've been working on the web, on websites for a couple of years before I actually started my first job board. I was worked for a company called Gartner Group, which is the IT advisory firm, as a web author. So I posted articles on Gartner.com, coded them, formatted them in HTML. So I was pretty much an HTML guy. Never been much of a programmer per se. I dabbled in ASP a bit at times, but more of a hacker programmer than I am an actual programmer. So my strengths are mostly in the front end with design, HTML, CSS, stuff like that. After Gartner, I went to a web design firm in Stamford, Connecticut called Third Street Interactive, which is no longer in existence, went belly up after the dot-com bust. And while there, I was working on a site for a recruiting firm. And I was a project manager for it, so I managed a couple of programmers who actually built the thing. But they wanted jobs on their site. They wanted to be able to post jobs on behalf of their clients, so job seekers could go and apply online and just make their life easier. So once I did that project, I realized how easy it was to create a simple database with a edit, delete, update function, and kind of took that idea or that concept and started coding FairfieldCountyJobs.com, which was my first job board. So that was in the summer of '99, and I worked on it pretty much at night during the summer, and I launched the site in September of 1999, which is almost 10 years ago today. So that's sort of where the genesis came from. Now, the reason I started it, I'd just gone through a job search myself, and the monsters of the world were lumping in all the jobs that I was interested in working for, or like companies in Connecticut, alongside of New York City job listings, which to me was a huge waste of time. So I would go into Monster, I'd do a search for a certain towns that I knew I wanted to work in. Because remember, job seekers are very location focused, and so was I. So I just wanted a target location and see what companies were hiring in those areas. So I'd go into Monster and do a search, and they'd lump in, dozens of New York City job listings alongside the jobs that I was interested in. And to me, that was just a huge waste of time. Again, job seekers are location focused. They want targeted results when they do a query. So, and I wasn't getting that from the monsters of the world. So I took that job search and frustration with me when I launched FairfieldCountyJobs.com. Sort of the next piece of the inspiration for it, I was reading an article in, I think it was Business 2.0 at the time, one of my all-time favorite magazines, which sadly is no longer around anymore. But they had an article on job boards. I think it was something on Techies.com, which was a IT job site. And Techies.com at the time was creating city-specific sites, such as Hartford.techies.com. And that's when sort of light bulb clicked in my head. I said, the area where I live is a pretty big job creator. Fairfield County, if you don't know, is in the southwestern corner of Connecticut, just about an hour from New York City. So it's sort of a suburb of New York City almost. But it's the primary economic engine of the state of Connecticut. I think 1 out of every 4 jobs are based here. So it has a population of 900,000 roughly. So I knew it could support a site of its own, given that the amount of companies and jobs that are created here. And that's when, as soon as I read that article, I kind of came up with the name FairfieldCountyJobs.com and went and registered that. And then, coded. That was during the summer at some point, and so I was coding it, and I launched it in September '99. Now, I had a few friends in HR who I knew already, so when I launched the board, I was able to contact them immediately and give them, basically I didn't give it to them. I sold them on the idea of posting locally on a local job board, and they were pretty much good to go with it from the beginning. Now this was all during the height of the dot-com boom, so companies were hiring at a frenetic pace. They were just dying to find new ways to attract talent, and I knew that a local site like this would be of great interest to them. So I hit up a few friends in HR. They signed on right away. Um, and I think I got a bank to come on, which actually is still with me today, 10 years later, one of the biggest banks in Connecticut. And from there, it just kind of took off. I think part of the success has to do with the timing, of course, given that in '99, hiring was just crazy. I mean, people couldn't hire fast enough, especially for tech stuff. But Fairfield County Jobs was a general job board, but a very local market. And I think that's what the industry was lacking at the time. Of course, now, years later, we know that niche boards and local job boards just proliferated and became commonplace. And so I think that's, when I started my board, that's when sort of the trend was just in its infancy as far as niche and local boards go. So that's sort of the history behind it. So it's an interesting story how I created the site. I think I actually worked for 2 years full time in addition to running the job board at night and on the weekends before I got laid off finally in October of 2001. I was working for Moda Media, which is a large web design company now owned by Digitas, as an information architect. And after September 11th happened, business dried up immensely, and I survived a few rounds of layoffs before I got the axe. But by that time, I had built up the site to where I already had second income. Basically, it was almost matching the salary I had at Moda Media. So in a way, I was lucky because I had that to fall back on. And from there, I just started working on the site and grew it up into a six-figure business. So that's the story of allcountyjobs.com. You can see the logo there behind me. It's 12 sites in the network now, serving the states of Connecticut, Massachusetts, Southern New York, and Rhode Island. And that is episode 1 of Making Money with Job Boards. Hope you enjoyed my history lesson. Got any comments or questions? Chris at allcountyjobs.com. Look forward to hearing from you. So long, kids.